So let's kick things off in the world of politics.
Sounds good.
It seems like the Choleveldi party is gearing up for a change in leadership.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Björt Samuelson and Siri Stenberg are the names
Hey,
to watch in this race.
and that's a pretty prominent party, right?
Absolutely. One of the major players in Faroese politics.
I did see that one article actually mentioned some confusion about where to even submit nominations for this race.
Interesting.
It kind of makes you wonder if there are maybe some internal struggles going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, or maybe just, some growing pains as they navigate this leadership transition.
Right, exactly.
Now, while we're talking about politics, we got to mention the current Prime Minister, Barbara Steg-Nielsen.
Okay.
He's been pushing for a smaller government.
Smaller, how so?
He wants to see a reduction in ministerial positions and committees.
A leaner government.
Streamline things a bit.
Well, it raises a lot of questions about how that would actually impact, governance and representation.
Absolutely. Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how the other parties and the public respond to this proposal.
I'm sure there will be a lot of discussion and debate about this in the coming weeks.
Definitely. Now, zooming out a little bit, let's talk about the Faroe Islands' relationship with the Nordic Council.
Okay.
There's been a bit of back and forth about their membership, along with Greenland's membership.
Right.
Mette Frederiksen, the Danish Prime Minister, has stated that both territories are treated as equals within the Council. But then you have Axel V. Johannesson, the Faroese Prime Minister, who is emphasizing the importance of full membership rights
I see.
and active participation.
So there's a bit of tension there.
Yeah, it's this kind of ongoing conversation about autonomy and representation.
Right, like where's the line between cooperation and maintaining their own distinct identity?
Exactly. Now let's shift gears and talk about some exciting developments in the world of Faroese business. Bakkafrost, a major aquaculture company, is teaming up with Grow Aqua
Oh, wow, I've heard of them.
to build what they say will be the world's largest feeding barge.
Wow.
Yeah, this thing is going to have some seriously impressive capabilities when it comes to feed, storage, and delivery.
So they're really upping their game in aquaculture.
Yeah, it shows just how important this sector is to the Faroese economy.
It also makes you think about the environmental implications of such a massive operation.
For sure, the balance between economic growth and environmental sustainability is always a key consideration. And speaking of economic matters, we've got to touch on Faroe Bank.
Okay.
It seems they're facing increased scrutiny from financial regulators.
Oh. What's happening there?
Well, they're being asked to increase their reserves against potential losses
Mm.
and adhere to stricter capital requirements.
So a bit of a tighter leash.
Yeah, you could say that.
Could this be a sign of broader concerns about the financial stability of the Faroe Islands?
Possibly, yeah. It'll be interesting to see how this all plays out.
Absolutely.
Now let's move away from the big picture stuff and zoom in on some local developments.
I love those local stories.
Me too. They really give you a sense of what life is like on the islands.
Exactly.
So over in Kálafjörður, they're building a brand new leisure school.
A leisure school. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's all about providing more opportunities for recreation and learning.
It's great to see communities investing in things like that.
Yeah, it shows a real commitment to their residents.
Absolutely.
And then in Gundadali, they just celebrated the grand opening of a new swimming pool called Langaluren.
Oh, wow. A new community gathering place.
Exactly, something that can bring people together and create a sense of local pride.
I love that. It's those little things that really make a difference.
You're right, they really do.
Of course, not all the news is positive.
Unfortunately, yeah.
There have been some sad events as well.
Sadly, 2 Faroese individuals lost their lives at sea this year.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
It's a reminder of the inherent risks associated with the maritime industry, which is such a vital part of Faroe's life.
It's a tough reality for a community so closely tied to the sea.
Yeah, it really highlights the need for continued focus on safety and support for those who make their living from the ocean.
Absolutely.
Now, let's talk about something a bit more uplifting sports.
Okay, I'm ready for some good news.
The Faroe Islands national football team is in the running for a bronze medal.
No way! That's amazing.
Yeah, and the excitement is palpable across the islands.
I bet. National pride on full display.
Absolutely. And the Logmanstipia, one of their major football cup competitions, is heating up as it approaches the final.
I can only imagine the energy.
Yeah, ticket sales are through the roof. Everyone's eager to see who comes out on top.
It's great to see that kind of passion for sports. It really brings people together.
Before we wrap up this whirlwind tour of Faroese news, let's touch on an important topic: mental health services,
Right.
particularly for children and adolescents.
It's a crucial issue everywhere these days.
Absolutely, and it's no different in the Faroe Islands.
What are some of the key concerns they're facing?
Well, there's been growing concern about wait times and access to care.
I see.
In fact, over the past 15 years, there have been over 2,143 referrals to child and adolescent psychiatry.
Wow, that number really highlights the need for increased resources and support.
Yeah, it definitely raises questions about how to better address the mental health needs of young people.
It's a challenge that many places are grappling with.
Absolutely, but it's encouraging to see that they're acknowledging the issue and working towards solutions.
It's good to hear that they're not shying away from these difficult conversations.
Now, there's also some good news on the healthcare front.
Oh, tell me more.
Over in Suðuroy, they're piloting some really innovative healthcare programs.
Interesting. What kind of programs?
They're exploring new ways to deliver services with a focus on efficiency and accessibility.
That's fantastic. It's always inspiring to see communities experimenting with new approaches to healthcare.
Yeah, and these initiatives have the potential to be a model for other regions, not just in the Faroe Islands, but maybe even further afield.
It's interesting. We were talking about Frost and, their plans for expansion.
Yeah, that huge feeding barge.
Exactly. It makes you wonder with Bank facing those stricter regulations if those two stories are kind of connected.
Huh. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Like on one hand, you have this company really pushing forward in a key industry,
Right.
but on the other hand, you have these potential concerns about financial stability.
So how does that play out in the long run?
Exactly. It's a small economy, so those things are bound to be intertwined.
It makes you think about the bigger picture.
Right. How global economic trends impact even those seemingly isolated places.
Remember that leisure school being built in Kálfshear?
Yeah.
Well, it's actually part of a much bigger project to revitalize the town center.
Wow, so they're really going all out.
Yeah, creating more public spaces for people to gather and connect.
That's amazing. What about the new swimming pool in Gunadali?
Oh, the grand opening is a huge success.
Awesome.
Apparently, it's already super
I
popular.
bet. A brand new pool is always a big draw.
And there's even talk of expanding it.
Oh, wow. What else are they planning?
Maybe a fitness center and a spa?
A full-blown wellness hub.
Exactly. It's great to see them investing in the community. All right, well, I think it's time for us to start wrapping things up,
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind tour of Faroes news.
but a fascinating one. Keep exploring.